More than 280 financial institutions around the world have signed up to Swift GPI.
Well, let's hear from 3 of these users about their specific drivers for adopting this new service. They are Darren Gaffney, who's the head of network management at Crown Agents Bank in the United Kingdom; Silawat Santivisat, who's the executive vice president at Kasikornbank in Thailand. He's also the founder of the Thailand Blockchain Initiative platform; and Sunil Mehta, who's the MD and CEO at Punjab National Bank in India. Gentlemen, welcome all of you to Sibos Television. Darren, how did you first hear about GPI?
Well, I was working at HSBC previous to my current role, and they're obviously big users of GPI, and as a big Swift bank as well, it was kind of seen as a key thing to look into, just in terms of improving the Swift experience for customers as well. I think GPI was a key. So when I moved, obviously I kept an eye on things and going into various conferences, etc. I was at the Swift conference in London earlier this year, and GPI again was being very much talked about. So we just carried on looking at it and ultimately signed up.
Fascinating. Now, Silla, when you first heard people talking about GPI, how was it described to you?
First of all, I think at the first time that I got the email and follow up with the telephone call from Swift Singapore, and explain that how it's gonna change the way of we doing payment. And at that time, I think that what I heard is about tracking. What I mean that tracking the status of the transaction. That's what I first heard.
And Sunil, your bank, which is the Punjab National Bank, it's the first public sector bank in India to sign up for GPI. So what were your drivers for signing up?
In fact, Punjab National Bank is the second largest public sector bank in India, and this GPI is offering enhanced customer service in the form of, first, the driver is providing a real-time position of the inflows and outflows that helps in better liquidity management. The second important factor is this provides an instant payment upcharge from the correspondent bank. So that provides a convenience to the customer. They can use most efficient bank, which is in a cost-effective manner. And the third is the payment tracking. So since the payment tracking facility is available in GPI, so it is giving an enhanced customer experience.
Darren, your bank has a unique history in the UK and is on a very clear mission today. Can you tell us about that, and particularly how it influenced your decision to sign up?
Sure. I mean, the Crown Agents itself has been around since 1833 and was appointed by the UK government, mainly to offer procurement services, raise capital for the colonies at the time. We saw a lot of those local banks that we deal with in the colonies deeply affected by the de-risking that went on. And as a result, we started offering correspondent banking services to those banks to encourage financial inclusion, give them access back to the markets. So we now are using a lot of cross-border SWIFT transactions, and because of that, really, GPI made sense for us to look into it in more detail.
And Silawat, we know that customers in different markets, they all have different cross-border payment requirements. So which of your customers do you think will need GPI, and how do you expect them to use it?
Okay. For the benefit of the trackers, actually, if we looking into our corporate customer today, for a year, from our statistic, that we get a call from customer asking about the status of their payments, and about 49% of the total call for the corporate products is about asking for the status. Therefore, for the tracking, it's going to be help for the customer to do like self-service or have some kind of the notification back to them. So they're going to know where the transaction is. It's improve the customer experience and also improve the efficiency for the bank as well. Adding on that, from what we see, not just only the corporate customer, but the individual customer who not get familiar with the cross-border payment. That's the other group of the customer that we have potential to do it because for the Swift GPI, they have the feature of the fast GPI, which is doing the online real-time direct to customer account. Definitely, that's for the retail customers.
Sunil, do you see similar customer needs for cross-border payments in India? How do you expect to offer GPI?
Of course, Punjab National Bank has got a customer base of 100 million. And we have corporate as well as the retail customer and who are often using this GPI. So by getting enhanced payment services with a better detailing is giving a better experience to them. And this is we are going to adopt for all of them.
And Darren, from your perspective, what do you see as the biggest benefit of GPI to your bank?
I mean, the tracking element certainly, as has been mentioned here, is going to be key. We do a lot of kind of aid-related payments as well into Africa, so really, hard to reach places as well. So the key with aid, obviously, is that it arrives on time and in the full amount. Using the tracker will help us kind of track where those payments are. Also, then, it really gives our customers a greater customer experience because they can find out very quickly where those payments are going. Also, from an operational point of view as well, being able to track the payments will make life easier for our operations, so we can hopefully scale the business without having to continually add to the operational side of things as well.
Silla, what if we dive into implementation now? What was your experience of setting up GPI, and when can we expect your organisation to be live with it?
Okay. For the GPI features, is one of the upgrade of the Swift. As what we have done for the past is not a big deal actually. And it takes about eight months for the implementation, and we're gonna live next month in November this year.
Great.
So he's going live in November. Just putting the same question to you. I mean, when do you plan to start going live on this? And do you think it's going to be a pretty straightforward process?
Yeah, we're looking to go live Q1 next year. We've kind of really started the initial conversations recently, so we see it actually as quite a straightforward process. Seems like a lot of the heavy lifting is really on Swift, and they've been very helpful, and there's a good team providing us with the information that we need. So we see it being relatively straightforward, actually.
Darren, you obviously make some very important payments to some very remote locations. What other markets would you like to see more banks take up GPI?
I mean, we want to be a global FX payment provider, so we'd like to see everyone ultimately take it on. But as I spoke about, Africa is kind of key as we see it. It's really the difficult markets where you need to be able to know where your money is at a certain time. But like I said, we'd like to see everyone kind of sign up to it, really, to make life easier for everyone.
Sure. And Sunil, look, the GPI journey, it doesn't stop here. It's an ongoing story. And Swift itself has a pretty spectacular roadmap laid out for not just 2019, but also beyond that time. So which services and ideas in that plan look very promising to you, and why? What makes them attractive?
In fact, GPI is exciting, and 2019 and beyond, the plans are very ambitious. The best part, which I feel more exciting for the customer, is the instant stop and recall facility. The instant stop and recall facility will enable the customer to stop the transaction at any point of time. And another unique feature which has is every transaction has got a unique identification, so it can be tracked. So transaction can be tracked at a different stages of the flow, and it can be stopped at any point of time. And maybe even if it is credited to an account of a customer, the recall messages can be submitted immediately. So it will prevent the siphoning of the money in the event of fraudulent transactions. This will facilitate the immediate stoppage of a transaction which is unwarranted or originated by mistake. So that will be a really facilitating factor. Another important factor is basically the data which is easily transferable. So the data transfer is become more comfortable in the present setup. And in times to come, definitely the cloud-based storage of the data will definitely be a game changer because that will save the cybersecurity risk also.
Silawat, what about you? Are there any developments on the horizon that are particularly attractive to you?
Definitely, after about a year, we found out the Swift GPI is not just only the tracker. Actually, it can do so many things. Last year, Kasikornbank was get the invitation from the Swift tribe, and we have the workshop in Singapore, and we are the mentor for one of the fintech so-called assembly, and what we help them to have the solution on the GPI is the request to pay. And the request to pay, that solves the problem for the malicious mail, which is today the hacker hacked to email and change the account numbers. Then the bank transfer the money to the wrong accounts. That a lot in the global today, and by using the GPI request to pay, it can solve the problem.
The final question, really, which I want to put to all of you, so fight amongst yourselves as to who answers it first. But look, you've all had a very positive experience with GPI, so it's passed the litmus test. As a final message, why should your counterparties around the globe actually consider adopting it? What would you tell them?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we're all in this together. So I think the more banks that sign up, the better the process is going to be for us as banks, but also the consumer as well.
And Silawat, what's your answer to that?
I think that it's going to be the more banks join, the more network effect we're going to have. And the most benefit is to our customers. That's my last words.
Okay, and Sunil?
Of course, the Swift is undertaking this journey of innovation, and every time there's a efficiency and the cost effectiveness of the speed. These are the factors which are going to be the main advantage to the entire banking community. And the greater adoption by the entire banking community will facilitate the global transactions. That will be a win-win situation for customers of each and every bank.
Okay, well, I'm sold. Are you?
Absolutely. It's an exciting time. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Sibos TV.
Thank you.